I have always been intrigued by virtual reality ever since I was a little kid. It's been one of those things that I've always wanted to get really into. When I was a kid, the technology wasn't quite there. I think the best that I had available to me on a consumer level was the Virtual Boy. And the less said about the Virtual Boy, the better. There's all sorts of videos on the internet about how shitty that thing was. It burned the hell out of your eyes, too, because it was just like an infrared screen beaming directly into your eyeballs, like 2 inches away from your eyes. Probably not the best thing in the world. And also, you couldn't strap it onto your head. It was like on a stand, so you were always standing awkwardly when you were playing it. It was a horrible, ill-conceived thing, but that didn't kill my interest in VR at that time, because there was so much really cool sort of implementations and ideations around virtual reality in a lot of the media I consumed at the time, and a lot of sci-fi and superhero shit. I'm thinking about the Holodeck in Star Trek, which was really a really cool concept to me. I'm thinking about the Danger Room in the X-Men, which is actually very similar to the Holodeck in Star Trek. But that was cool to me too, and like the idea that you can just go into these worlds. When I was a little bit older, when I was getting more into anime outside of like the Dragon Ball Z contingent, there were these different types of isekai, like what was it, Sword Art Online, or Dot Hack. I think it was actually Dot Hack was the first one. I think Sword Art was a little later, but Dot Hack Sign was all about a VR game that was super. The word escapes my mind. Immersion is the immersion is the word I was looking for. God damn. That was a real pain in the ass to try to, and I actually had to go to Reddit to find it. How embarrassing. It's just one of those things where, the word is on the tip of your tongue. I was close. I thought it was I-N, but it's I-M. But yeah, Dot Hack Side was like all about the world that was playing this VR game that was super immersive. It made people feel like they were actually in the world. It actually would like jack into their brains, Matrix style, and people who died in the game. I don't know if it was intentionally designed. I can't remember. I haven't watched Dot Hack in well over 2 decades. Well, maybe a decade, but or actually at this point it might be 2 decades. But you die in the game world, you die in real life. So I was intrigued by that too. There was a lot around VR that I was super interested about. And we're kind of living in the early days of VR actually being something that is readily available on a consumer level. It's not the immersive Dot Hack Sign or Sword Art Online or Ready Player One type of experience that our media still kind of thinks that at some point the development of VR will get to. But I just came across this little news trinket from Disney, from their Imagineers, that possibly, maybe inches us a couple of steps closer in that direction, which is kind of cool. The thing is, like, VR in its current state is still it's a little closer to immersive, but the walls between the virtual reality world and your tactile world are still very present. A part of it is because a lot of the hardware that standalone units like the Oculus use can't really give you photorealism. And if you do use a headset that you could use for your PC, some games look good. Some games look okay. Nothing super photorealistic I've seen so far, but again, I have a HTC Vive downstairs, but I haven't set it up just yet. So I actually need to get a ladder and hook up those sensors so I can see what's available for that thing. I like the Vive more than the others because you have the ability to move around in 3D space and the sensors can tell where you are, etc., etc. It is a small step closer to the level of immersion that sci-fi and fantasy kind of promised before. I have gone to a local arcade here in town where they had the treadmill, where you could stand on the treadmill, a 360 treadmill with a headset on, and actually walk or run or whatever in whatever direction you needed to. It wasn't the most intuitive feel in the world. I mean, it was cool. It was definitely cool to feel like, okay, I could aim in that direction and run in that direction. but it didn't feel natural, I guess. It didn't feel natural. So I mean, there's a lot of kinks being ironed out in these that, you know, are trying to give you the most natural feel, physical feel of moving around in these spaces and making it feel like you're actually immersed in these worlds and not that you're just you're poking at a touch screen that is just sitting on your face, pretending to be a world that you're around, which is kind of the vibe I get from a lot of VR games, honestly. It's like, okay, this looks cool, but it still feels like I'm just kind of wearing a touch screen and I'm poking at it with my Wii U remote or whatever. But this Disney item I came across actually looks like it could be pretty cool. So I haven't watched it just yet. Let's go over it real quick and watch this video and see what the Imagineers at Disney have been up to. Disney just got us one step closer to the Holodeck. The company's new Holotile floor, that sounds pretty cool, could be a game changer for VR experiences. A new advanced treadmill-like floor invention from Disney could solve one of the biggest problems with VR, movement. Yes, as I was describing before. But it could also bring one step closer to making a Star Trek-like holodeck a reality. In a recent video from Disney, we got a sneak peek at what the company is calling the Holotile, an omnidirectional treadmill-like floor that multiple people could use at the same time. The first look at this new impressive tech was included in a video primarily dedicated to celebrating Disney Research Fellow and famous Imagineer Lanny Smoot's introduction to the National Inventors Hall of Fame. Coincidentally, Smoot is the inventor behind this new impressive Holotile technology. He also invented that awesome and realistic-looking lightsaber too. So let's watch this video and see exactly what this looks like.
And we'll
all right,
see
here we go.
the Holotile floor.
I mean, kudos to this guy. Congratulations, all that jazz. Come on, let's show us the juice.
So this is the Holotile.
It is, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to do a little demonstration of it. So I can walk on this omnidirectional floor in any direction I want. It will automatically do whatever it needs to have me stay on the floor. And what's amazing about this is multiple people can be on it and all walking independently. They can walk in virtual reality and so many other things.
So where are you hoping this tech ends up?
You know, imagine a number of people being in a room, being able to be somewhere
in a danger room,
collaboratively and moving around, doing sightseeing. Imagine theatrical stages that might have these embedded in them so that dancers can do amazing moves. Not me, but really good dancers. So there are just so many applications for this type of technology.
Wait, what is happening? Wait, what was that? Hold on a second. What was that? This dude was like using Jedi powers to fucking move really that thing dancers.
Around. So there are just so many applications.
Like, wait, what the fuck? Get out of here. Like, you can see his hand down here. What exactly is going on here? How is this thing moving?
Applications for this type of technology, and we don't know
what was
yet
that?
where it'll be used.
Well, it's official. I think you probably have one of the coolest jobs.
Yeah, I think you're right. It gives me an amazing opportunity to use these inventions that I've made in service of people having fun.
Well, Lanny, it's been great catching up with you.
Damn, that's cool as shit. What the fuck? So you could, I guess, control a remote, but how?
Where it'll be.
I guess you're just kind of, you're official. Moving the tiles?
I think you probably have one of the coolest jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're not, I mean, obviously you're not moving the fucking guy. He didn't invent like a telekinesis wristwatch. There's some level of control over how the tiles angle themselves, I guess, depending on the motion of the God damn, what happened? Depending on the motion of the device he's using.
It gives me an amazing opportunity to use.
I'm assuming it's the watch. I'm assuming it's this watch.
Use these inventions that I've made in service of people having fun.
Well, Lanny, it's been great catching up with you. Thanks for showing us around.
Thank you.
Man, what a very tiny sneak peek over something that looks so incredibly awesome. The tech can be used alongside virtual reality headset to provide a more immersive experience that isn't limited by controllers or the size of your room. It excites me a lot. I've shown VR to a lot of people. Yeah, I don't understand why we don't have more information on this. What a weird way to drop like an awesome evolution in our VR and reality, in our VR workspace. It just gave you a really tiny taste, man, a really tiny taste. I want more. I want more. Give me more. We are one step closer to the danger room. Our danger room, although the danger room is, adequately titled, seems dangerous. Like they're shooting buzzsaws and shit. Professor X really was a very irresponsible headmaster of a school. He has this school of kids who are like, they're the most vulnerable kids in the world. It's like, oh no, I'm a mutant. I don't know how to control my power. Like, one day I'm in middle school just trying to figure out how to tell Susie or whatever. I know it's an old fashioned name, but whatever. How to tell Susie that I have a crush on her. The next thing you know, I've got giant spikes shooting out of my back or whatever, or anything I look at melts or some other such shit. And then here comes Professor X. Bobby, I know you have a problem controlling your powers. I happen to run a school for kids like you, gifted kids. We will teach you how to use your powers so you can live a normal life amongst humans. And it's like, oh man, okay, I guess I've got no choice, because like if I don't, I'm gonna melt people by looking at them. But I'm still gonna learn like the social sciences, and I'm gonna learn about geography and stuff, right? Yeah. But first, dodge this buzzsaw. Here's a giant 40-foot robot that's hell bent on killing you. Stop him. Here's a piece of the ceiling that's gonna smash down on you like a piston. Welcome to school, bitch. Like, goddamn, dude, Xavier was not the most responsible person. And then for like the students, I don't know how many students died in the danger room. I'm gonna assume they kind of left that part out of it. But for whatever students survived it, he just turns them into his own little private paramilitary like death squad. It's like we've got our own little Blackbird under the basketball court. Whenever we need to deploy my specially trained child soldiers across the world, I'll just hit that button and they'll go and they'll take care of business. And they can do that because of Larry Smoot, who is the original developer of the Danger Room. Thank you, Larry. You're a service to child soldiers everywhere.